This is one of the strangest medical mysteries ever recorded. A story that pushes the boundaries of what we believe is possible about the human brain. It begins in the spring of 2010, in a quiet town in Croatia. A 13-year-old girl, known to the public only as Alisa, was living a normal life, filled with school, friends, and family. But in the weeks leading up to the incident, something was wrong. Alisa was under immense stress and complained of extreme, bone-deep fatigue that no amount of rest could fix. Her parents grew concerned, but they, like many, assumed it was the pressure of school or perhaps a simple teenage phase. One afternoon, their world was turned upside down. Alisa collapsed, rushed to the hospital. Doctors initially thought it was a severe case of exhaustion, but her condition quickly worsened. She slipped into a deep coma, a state of unconsciousness that would last a full 24 hours. Her parents stayed beside her hospital bed the entire night, a long, agonizing vigil filled with fear and prayer. They watched her still form, listening to the rhythmic beeping of the machines that monitored her life, praying for any sign that she would wake up. The next morning, their prayers were answered, but in a way no one could have ever predicted. Alisa's eyes finally opened. Her parents, overwhelmed with relief, leaned in close, waiting for her to speak. She tried to form words, her lips moving, but what came out was not the familiar sound of her native Croatian. Instead, she spoke perfect, fluent German. It wasn't just a few basic words or simple, broken sentences. She spoke like a native German teenager, with flawless grammar, an extensive vocabulary, and an authentic accent that stunned everyone in the room. The hospital staff was in disbelief. Her parents were utterly baffled. They tried speaking to her in Croatian, their mother tongue, the only language she had ever known. But Alisa just stared back at them, confused, as if they were speaking a foreign language she couldn't understand. She only responded when addressed in German. Here's the truly strange part. Alisa had never formally studied German. Her school records confirmed it. She had taken English and Italian classes, but German was not on her curriculum. Her friends confirmed it, bewildered by the sudden change. Even her own family insisted she couldn't say a single complete sentence in German before the coma. This wasn't a case of a student who had a hidden talent for languages. This was a girl who went to sleep speaking one language and woke up fluently speaking another, while seemingly forgetting her own. The medical community was thrown into a state of profound confusion. How does a child, or anyone for that matter, suddenly become fluent in a foreign language they've never learned, especially after a medical incident? The case of Alisa became an immediate and captivating puzzle for neurologists, linguists, and psychologists across Europe. Doctors scrambled for an explanation. The first logical step was to examine her brain. Neurologists ordered a series of detailed brain scans, including Mr. Is and CT scans, suspecting that the collapse and coma might have been caused by some form of physical trauma, a stroke, or a previously undetected lesion. They were looking for any abnormality, any damaged area that could explain this bizarre linguistic switch. But the results only deepened the mystery. Every scan came back completely normal. Her brain appeared perfectly healthy, with no signs of injury or disease. With no physical evidence to guide them, investigators had to dig deeper into Alisa's past, searching for any possible clue. And they found one, though it seemed incredibly faint. Her parents recalled that years ago, when Alisa was a very young child, she used to watch German language cartoons on television. It was a small detail from her early childhood, something most families wouldn't think twice about. Could this passive exposure to a language as a toddler be the key? Most experts immediately dismissed this theory. They argued that watching cartoons as a child simply cannot equip someone with adult-level fluency years later. Language acquisition is a complex process. It requires active engagement, practice, and a deep understanding of grammar and syntax. Passive listening, especially at such a young age, might lead to some familiarity with sounds and rhythms, but it wouldn't magically install a fully formed language system in the brain, ready to be activated by a coma. The explanation just didn't make sense. As conventional medical explanations failed, doctors began to consider more obscure possibilities. Some suggested a rare and poorly understood phenomenon called foreign accent syndrome, where brain damage can alter a person's speech patterns, making them sound as if they have a foreign accent. But Alisa's case was different. She didn't just have a German accent. She had the entire German language at her disposal, while her native Croatian was gone. It was a complete linguistic replacement, not a simple alteration of speech. Others proposed a psychological explanation, suggesting a form of dissociative state where her brain, under extreme stress, unlocked or prioritized a buried memory of the German language. In T-Storia, the trauma of her collapse and coma might have triggered a profound mental shift, causing a deeply submerged part of her subconscious to come to the forefront. It was a fascinating idea, but it still didn't explain where the fluency and grammatical perfection came from. How could a subconscious memory be so complete and sophisticated without any formal learning? And then, a few researchers ventured into even more mysterious territory, suggesting something that challenges our fundamental understanding of memory and learning. They hypothesized that Alisa's brain didn't just unlock a memory. It somehow accessed and rapidly processed latent linguistic information that was always there, dormant and unstructured. Perhaps the human brain has an innate capacity for language that is far greater than we know, and under extraordinary circumstances, it can construct a new linguistic reality for itself. This idea bordered on the paranormal for some, but given the lack of other explanations, it remained on the table. The story of the Croatian girl who woke from a coma speaking German spread like wildfire across Europe. News outlets picked it up, and people were captivated and shocked. The case became a popular topic of discussion, raising profound questions about the nature of the human mind. How does our brain actually store information? Is it possible that we hold vast reserves of knowledge and skills that we are completely unaware of? And if so, what does it take to unlock them? Could we all, theoretically, wake up one day with abilities we never knew we had? For Alisa, the experience was deeply disorienting. Imagine waking up in a world where you can no longer communicate with your own family. Reports from the time said that she was frustrated and isolated, trapped in a linguistic bubble. Her parents had to quickly learn basic German phrases just to speak with their own daughter. The very foundation of their family life was suddenly built on a language foreign to them all, except for Alisa. Over the days and weeks that followed, the situation began to slowly change. Just as mysteriously as her Croatian had vanished, it started to return. Bit by bit, she began to recall words and phrases from her native tongue. At the same time, her fluency in German started to fade. It was as if her brain was slowly rewiring itself, reverting back to its original state. Within a short period, she was once again speaking Croatian fluently, and her German abilities had all but disappeared, leaving only a faint memory of the strange event. To this day, no doctor or scientist can give a definitive explanation for what happened to Alisa. The case remains officially unsolved, a tantalizing entry in the annals of medical mysteries. It serves as a powerful reminder that despite all our technological advancements and scientific knowledge, the human brain is still the most complex and enigmatic object in the known universe. What we do know is this: the brain is far more powerful, far more adaptable, and far more mysterious than we can possibly imagine. Alisa's story forces us to question the limits of our own potential and the hidden depths of our own minds. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the unexplained.